All right, we start with some big breaking coming in. A big observation has been made by the Supreme Court on Thug Life release in Karnataka. Judge J. Bhuyan says we cannot allow mob and vigilance to take the streets. File counter. You cannot be a proxy. File a reply by tomorrow. We cannot allow this to happen. Supreme Court in fact heard the writ petition challenging the extra-judicial ban of actor Kamal Haasan's movie Thug Life in Karnataka. Do remember that it all started after Kamal Haasan's objectionable comment on Kannada language during an audio release of his movie Thug Life. And now Supreme Court in fact has made a big observation in the case. Judge J. Bhuyan saying that we cannot allow mob and in fact we cannot allow mob and vigilance to take over the streets. File counter. You cannot be a proxy. File a reply by tomorrow. We cannot allow this to happen. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Piyush Pandey, who joins me over the phone line with more details on the same. A big observation here has been made by the Supreme Court, Piyush. Judge J. Bhuyan has in fact observed that we cannot allow mob and vigilance to take over the streets and really decide the fate of any movie.
Yes, Neha, Justice Bhuyan observe we cannot allow mob and vigilance to take over the streets and said to state government file counter. You can't be a proxy. File a reply by tomorrow. We cannot allow this to happen. And Justice Manmohan also observed rule of law demands that any person should be allowed to release its film. It cannot be at the bane of fear of burning down the cinemas that the film will not be released. People may come and may not watch the film, but that's a different matter. We are not passing an order that come. Watch the film, but the film must be released. So Neha, Supreme Court will hear this matter again on Thursday, and now Supreme Court given direction to state government to file counter tomorrow. Yes, Neha.
Gautam, the Supreme Court, as I was saying, has called this an extrajudicial ban, making it clear that no one, holds the power to really decide the future of any movie. How significant is this observation legally?
Very legally significant reading of the case from the Supreme Court there, Neha, because the Thug Life movie has now been allowed to be released in Karnataka. Keep in mind that the whole issue played out earlier in the month where the movie was set for release around June 5th. And so far, it has not seen a release in Karnataka owing to the statement that was made by Kamal Haasan stating that Kannada as a language actually originated from Tamil. And following that, there was a Karnataka High Court hearing as well, which left it for Kamal Haasan's movie production house and the Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce to negotiate between themselves to sort out the issue. So far, there hasn't been any resolution on that part. Now, Supreme Court on its part has taken matter into its own hands and said that basically very strong words that have been used by the Supreme Court saying that we cannot allow groups of hooligans to dictate. If someone has made a statement, you counter that with a statement. Cannot issue or threaten like this. Basically, the Supreme Court is referring to the kind of threats that were made to the release of the movie to the movie theaters as well, saying that if they're going to release the movie, the pro-Kannada organizations threatened to burn down the movie theaters. And in reference to that, Supreme Court has referred to them as hooligans. And what the Supreme Court has also gone on to say is that the rule of law demands that any person be allowed to release a film. People may choose to not to come and watch the film, basically putting the onus on the audience that if they are so enraged, they can choose not to watch the movie. If they are so outraged by the statement that Kamal Haasan has made, then they can choose not to come. But they cannot have threats of burning down theaters and also saying that mobs cannot be allowed to dictate what will happen as well. And now that the film has been allowed to release, it may come as a big relief to the movie distributors who are actually caught on the fence in between the language issue, which is a very sentimental issue in Kannada, whereas they are also facing losses because of the movie not being released as well. And the Supreme Court also quoted a judgment of Imran Pratapgadi case as well, and also a quote from the Bombay High Court verdict in Natharam Godse case as well. So the Karnataka government, the Supreme Court has basically taken cognizance of several issues where movies are not allowed to release, and saying that if someone does not have the same view that you have, you cannot infringe upon their rights to release the movie. And the Supreme Court has basically said that the rule of law demands that a film which has been cleared by the CBFC